in this instalment of Tackle and Bait, we're going to be looking at fishing on the drop for different species. Now when I say on the drop, I don't mean we're just casting it out there and we're just letting it drift along. No, this is just targeting fish that hitting a bait instantaneous from the moment it hits the water. And this has been a really good method for targeting pacu, tambaqui, and you can pick up the odd Siamese carp as well. So I'm going to show you how we set it up, how to fish it, how to work it with a catapult, and we'll see if we can get ourselves a pacu. So let's have a look, let's get started. So what we're going to have a look at here, I've got my Jurassic tackle bag, I've got some poilies, and I've got one of the floats from the shop. So I'm going to start off by tying an up link. I'm going to get one of these out. Also what's important here is I'm going to get one of my baits out so I can get the exact right length of hair when I tie this up. I'm just going to tie a loop. Now ideally I want this loop so that the knot itself that I've used to tie the loop actually sits perfectly behind the boiler so it stops it moving. So first of all I'm just going to start by making a loop. This is going to form the actual hair. Oh me, I'm dirty, I've been mowing around sorting other bits and bats out this morning, not to worry. I want that knot sitting one side and want the bait stop the other. Now in terms of rig length, I'm just going to make it 18 inches, no longer than what we fish as a normal carp rig if it comes pre-tied. I'm going to leave a little bit extra because I've got to tie a knot in it. I'm going to fish it real close, I'm not going to have it kicked off a lot. I'm just going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull the bait stop. I'm going to pull the bait the other side and do another 1, 2 behind, and I'm going to whip my way back down. The reason I've done this is I want it to come off at a super aggressive angle. Bed that down, lovely. See how that's kicking off. Real aggressive, that's what you want. It's nice and tight. You're not having a big air gap for how we're going to fish here on the float, that's ideal. Now coming down here onto your braided main line. Nice and simple. If you start with, I'm going to start by putting 2 of these on you, just to be on the safe side, so it will still give if needed, but I don't want it sliding between takes. Next thing, we're going to use a buffer bead. Put a buffer bead on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually thread our float on. I'll only be fishing for an hour or 2 just to see how this works, just to demonstrate it. So I've just come through there now. Take another bead the other side. So as we're running here now from your main line down, you've got stopper, stopper, bead, float, bead, stopper. You can put 2 either side, but it's not as important as you go down the line, because the bites, we're always going to be hitting it back up the line. So we've got that on there now. Now we're just going to tie a loop. Double overhand for me, it's never failed on me yet. I know there's different knots out there, but as long as it's bedded tight it shouldn't be a problem. Into position. This method isn't for free falling through the water, sat down, you know, waiting for a bite on the alarm. That's freelining. This method is rod in hand, fishing on the drop. When it's finished, it's dropped. Maximum of a metre, you're reeling it back in. We want to make that absolutely clear. So, means of attaching a rig, simple loop to loop, one loop through the other, and then put your bait back through the loop. So that just beds down lovely. Make sure it all sits tight and it's not all caught up. That's nice. Nice, simple, trim down bait. Perfect. So how this actually looks, as you can see here, I'll show you once more. Coming down, up length isn't any longer than 18 inches, as you'd find in your carp pack. Down to your up bait, which is it. Nice, simple fishing. So, let's get this out into place. Crimp this barb first of all, and away we go. Now, the idea of this method is basically to target fish on the drop. I've got our setup here. As you can see, we've just got an 18-inch hook link that I've tied myself, just so it compensates for a nice shorter hair. Down to a float, everything's secured in place with stoppers as I've shown you. The idea is when we cast in, we want to feather it as it goes in, and it's just going to sink down on an arc, and then the float cocks. Once that float's cocked, chances are nothing's going to hit it. You might fire a few over the top, but to be honest, you're just going to reel in and go again. It's a repetition process. This is ideal for match anglers. Yeah, it's a bit of a contrast. When this works really well and it's middle of the day, you might end up really sweating it out, but it can get you them species which you might not have targeted before. So I'm going to show you how this works. We're going to ping it out and go and have a look. Alright. Start off with, I've got my rod here to one side, easy to reach. Pop that down, get a bit closer, just so it's to hand. You don't want it too far away, you want to be ready. So first things first, couple of baits out there, hit that same area, 3-4 baits. Now as I get down to my last couple, I'm actually going to get my rod in hand, I'm going to get it up to the spigot, I'm going to get my bail arm open, and then I'm going to cast in. At any point does this rod not come out my hand, feather it in, I'm ready, am I going to get a bite? Float's just cocking, bait's still falling, it's rod in hand, I'm not fishing a free line, loads of line out there, it's just float 18-inch up. There we are, fish on. You see that just took it straight away, it just cocked and it hit it. We're not sure what this is,